Hey friends, Sleepy here, and welcome to another episode in my Consoles Games Collecting series. We are now on episode 7, and the topic for discussion for today's video is going to be about custom cover art for your loose cartridges and disc-based games. So for me, I hate having loose disc-based games. Now, cartridges not as much, unless it's handheld ones. Now, I don't have to have the original boxes for handheld games, because they just cost too much. But I do like having my own custom boxes for them. And so I have some examples for you guys to share with you of games that I have loose that I was able to make cases from. And these all came from thecoverproject.net, which I'll have a link to. That website has so many different covers for all kinds of consoles out there. Game Boy Color, Nintendo DS, Xbox, PlayStation, Sega Saturn, Sega CD, TurboGrafx 16, Virtual Boy, everything you can think of. There's people who are making covers, and there's always new covers being created every day and different ways and stuff you can do. Now, one of the first ones I'll show you is what I do with my Game Boy and Game Boy Color games. I actually also have a video that I talked about this years ago, which I'll have a link to that video as well. But I like to keep my Game Boy and Game Boy Color games in old cassette cases with little printed out covers. So right here I have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Fall of the Foot Clan in a little cassette case, which is cool. You can get these cassette cases very cheap at thrift stores and stuff because people don't care about cassettes anymore. Like a quarter or something. I got a ton of them. And all you have to do is just break one of the tabs in there, and you can put the game in with the cover art, and you have it on with a nice little case here, which is really cool. Now, it doesn't have any artwork or anything on the back like you could use in a DS, like a DS cases, but it's a method that I really like because it doesn't take up a whole lot of space, and it's just something that's really cool. So I like to keep my Game Boy and Game Boy Color games in here. Now, for Game Boy Advance games, I print out cover art and use DS cases because a lot of them have the cartridge slot up here at the top, and they have a lot of the wonderful cover art on the cover project that I print out. So I have Kirby, Nightmare, and Dreamland here, and it's really cool because you have the cover on the front, you have the spine so you can see what the game is, and I also have the artwork on the back. And what they did is a mock-up of what the box looked like, but you're able to print it up and have it in its own case. And so I use DS cases for DS games, obviously, but for Game Boy Advance only. You can modify these and put Game Boy games in them, and Game Boy Color and Virtual Boy, other kind of games which people I've seen used in the past, but I strictly like using them for Game Boy Advance games. Now, for Super Nintendo, regular Nintendo, and 64 cartridges, Sega Genesis and stuff, you can use they don't actually make these anymore, which is really sad, but there are other ones out there. Universal game cases, and I have my copy here, Clay Fighter Sculptor's Cut, which has custom cover art printed again from the cover project, and it is just like how the box was at the time, but also only in a case format. And you open up and it has a slot to hold your cartridge in there. Now, you could modify these and cut some of the plastic off, or you could make it to fit NES games because people had used these for years, but unfortunately the company that made these stopped making them, so they're kind of expensive. However, there are other options out there in other cases as well, where you can put your games in case, and it's really cool, no longer having to worry about having a Nintendo 64 loose on your shelf. You can have it in a box art that you can check out in these cool cases. So that's one that I really used, really liked. I did about a third of my Nintendo 64 collection in these cases, and unfortunately they're really hard to do, so I'm gonna have to track down a different kind of case to box up the rest of my collection, but I would like to get them all like that. Now, for Sega Genesis ones, I print up my own cover art, but I like to use original Sega Genesis clamshells, which I bought a ton of cheap sports games. They were like 50 cents a dollar, and I use those. I've got boxes of those saved up from over the years, and I just sold the cartridges loose and gave the cover art to the game store to use, and I had the cases available. Now, for CD-based games, you can also print out custom covers, which you can have them in the little jewel ones, but I like to use them in DVD-style case. So, like, I have a Sega Saturn one here. Here's Virtual Fighter 2. So, the game fits in there, and then it has this wonderful cover art there, which is really sweet. So you could do that for Sega Saturn. You can also print out PlayStation 1 games like this, which I do have some PlayStation 1 games. Some of the Resident Evils I have like that. I also do it for my Sega Dreamcast games. So I have Dino Crisis here, which was disc only, and I printed out this great cover art, and I put it in an old Wii case because I thought the white fit well with the Dreamcast, and so I like that. And you can do different colors and stuff that you want, blue and red, yellow. There's all kinds of different DVD cases out there you can buy to do different unique ones. So I like being able to put my loose games in these cases. And then I also did that with let's see if I can find one. Maybe it just has so many buried. But I also did it with my Dreamcast demo discs, as somebody created the covers for those. You also can download these templates where people have a template for Game Boy Advance, PlayStation 2, Xbox 360, and you can then make your own covers, which some people do custom covers and make their own artwork and stuff on them. I've seen it with like the Wii consoles, which I don't have any out, but there's some custom Wii ones I have that have black cover arts on them, and they just look really cool. And so it's just a neat way that you can make your loose disc games have cases without having to spend all that money buying the actual case. I mean, you could always go and buy replacement cases for games and cover arts and manuals and all that kind of stuff online, but usually they cost a bit of money, especially nowadays. But it's a nice little cheap solution. You know, you can print out covers for your games. Now, it can get expensive as far as it comes to ink. So what I like to do is I like to print at my local library because they have a nice color laser printer, and it only costs me 50 cents for a page. And they have different kinds of paper and stuff. There's programs and stuff out there on how you can print them to the correct scale and all that. This is more just talking about a discussion of the series and how, you know, you can print them out, and, you know, talking about what I do for my collection, but not really like a tutorial on it, which I do have that as my, you know, how I printed out cover arts for this, and I do go into detail about that. So make sure you check out that video if you want to know how I'm able to print them out. But, you know, a great way is going to a library or going to like a Staples or a print center and printing out your cover without having to waste a ton of money on ink. So it's just a little idea I thought I'd share with you guys about how I like to make my loose cartridge and disc-based games have cases so they look nicer in my collection. Of course, you know, we always do prefer to buy stuff complete, but sometimes it's cheaper to buy it disc only, or like me, you know, you find it in a thrift store and it was, you know, a couple bucks, and so now you just have a loose disc, and it's a quick, easy way to box up your games without having to spend a lot of money on it. And so I do like printing out my own custom cover art and cases for my loose disc and cartridge based games. But let me know about you guys. Do you guys like to do that for your collection? Are there any tips and tricks you guys have yourself? Do you create any of your own custom artwork and make your own covers for games? If so, I'd love to hear about it. Let me know about them. Always interested in finding new covers. And you can join the coverproject.net and you can upload your artwork for them to add to their growing database. It's a great site for you guys to check out. Great way to box up all of your loose cartridges and loose CD games and have nice cases for them. Definitely an option that you guys should look into, and it's something I really love for my collection, as it just really makes the game stand out, especially for like 64, because, you know, the cartridges don't have any top labels, so if the cartridges are laid down, you can't even tell where they are unless you go out and buy all the end labels. Well, if you have them in these nice little boxes, you'll know what the game is, and then you also get to read a little description of the game, and it's like having the box without having to spend that money that they command, because like this Clay Fighter Sculptor's got, again, this box is like $10,000, you know. This case is like $1, and the artwork when I print out was like a quarter, so $1.25 versus $10,000. I mean, what are you going to choose, you know? And it still looks awesome for me. I know it's not for everybody, you know, not everybody might like, you know, not having the original artwork for their games, but it is a great little solution though if you do have your loose disc games and loose cartridges and stuff. And it's just something I thought you guys would enjoy, and I thought it would make a great topic here in my discussion series. Let me know your guys' thoughts about it. Like I said, do you guys do this for your collection? Do you guys have any tips on it? And maybe you create your own your own artwork and stuff. I'd love to hear from it. I want to thank you guys for watching. Take care. You guys have an amazing day, and Sleepy will see ya next time.